Hey guys, before we start, a quick shout out to Alpha Dog Nutrition for sponsoring this podcast. Alpha Dog products are now available at dusupply.com, and you can use code ALPHADOG15 at checkout for 15% off and a credit for free shipping to try it yourself. Now let's get you to your podcast.
All right, guys, we are back with Cody King on the subject of mentoring young houndsmen. Be a houndsman or not to be a houndsman? We are definitely diving deep into the subject. And remember, to see the live recording of this podcast, head over to YouTube and look up the Interview Stories and Tales channel. Don't forget to go to SaveTheHuntColorado.com and donate what you can to help out hound hunters in Colorado. If you donate, send me a screenshot to anecdoteofahoundsman@outlook.com, and we will match your donations all the way up to $10,000. Now let's get to the show.
Anybody walks up to you and claims they know everything about hounds and hound hunting, you
Go the other way.
You know you're wasting your time immediately. Yep. But
Yeah.
Well, 2 days. I'm gonna make y'all jealous right now, and I'll tell you why I'm gonna make y'all jealous.
Shut them off.
2 days.
Shut them off, Brett.
My high temperature is gonna be 78 degrees, and my low temperature is gonna be 57 degrees.
Jeez. Do you know what? For the next 10 days, I check on that underground weather. It's going to be over 100 degrees every day here. I had the dogs out this morning. I take them out.
Be in Africa.
I take them out just to exercise them. Oh, is that what the weather's going to be like in Africa?
That's what. It's winter in Africa right now. Yeah.
Benny wants to know what part of Africa you're going to be in.
So last year, I went to the northwestern section of Mozambique.
All right.
This year, we are going right on the coast, but still in Mozambique. But we're going to be in coastal plains forest kind of stuff. You know, real flat land. We were in the mountains last year.
What part of Mozambique? Which direction?
So the very eastern, right on the coast.
Yeah.
We're going to be on the.
But central, north, south?
About centralish. We're flying into Beira. I don't know if you know where that is or not. But
Yeah,
we fly into Beira, and then it's about a 4-hour drive.
When are you leaving, Cody?
I still learn something new That's exactly right, Tim. Learn something every time.
When are you leaving, Cody, to go to Africa?
I leave here Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. and we're going to start hunting. I'll get there Friday, and we'll start hunting Saturday morning.
We're going to try to, Cody and I have been talking, we're going to try to do a little live deal. Maybe, I don't know what time it'll be. Cody doesn't either, because we're not smart enough to figure out the time difference between the two places.
8 hours.
It's 7 or 8 hours. Yeah.
Ahead or behind?
Ahead of us. So
ahead.
It'll be 8 p.m. there. It'll be noon here.
Yes.
So Chris and Benny, I'm taking a Starlink with me, and then Scott Allen, that English dog photographer, is going to be there with all of his equipment. So, if y'all want to check in or anything like that, let me know. We can definitely set it up. We're going to have internet and stuff. So.
Yeah, we're going to try to do it somehow.
We're going to do something.
Yeah.
Why don't you throw that flyer up real quick while there's 100 people on, Brett, for the rendezvous?
Where's it at?
Bouncing
when
all
is
over.
that rendezvous?
Not this weekend, but next weekend, the 24th.
I've been having people ask me about that, if I was going, and I didn't even know what it was.
Are you going to be gone to Africa?
Yeah, I won't be here. If not, I'd have hopped on a plane and flew out.
I think Cody is. I mean, him and Bency even they're similar. They both hunt really, really hard. I think that
if
makes
you want good hounds, you have to hunt really hard. You have to hunt a lot.
Yeah.
You know, you're not gonna be a good framer framing a house if you've only done it 3 times in your life.
I tell people all the time, if you line up the best houndsman to the worst houndsman, it will directly correlate to the most hours spent hunting and the least hours spent hunting. Almost always. I mean, there's always the exception, the natural, but in general, the person that spent more hours hunting is a better hunter.
And you can tell by being around their dogs.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of my story this morning, I take my dog. I try to get my dogs out. I mean, it's hot. Get out early in the morning. Try to get them out, 3 times a week, something like that. And I take off and I put my buggy on the trailer and drive way up there in the canyon. Get the dogs out, roading them up the canyon, go way up the canyon, go way up this side canyon. No road, just a little arroyo, place I go up there often. And I get out and I look in my mirror and there's 2 SUVs right behind me. And I thought, what in the world are these? And I started to get angry. I thought, what in the world are these people doing? They all get out and they got little day packs on and everything. And I thought, all these canyons, and they're up here on my canyon. And I mean, this is lots and lots of country. Finally, I asked them, I said, what's up, guys? They said, oh, we're going to go hiking. I said, oh, where are you going? And the lady said, oh, we're just going to hike up this canyon. I said, oh. Finally, and then I kind of settled down. I said, well, if you go up there a little ways, there's a little outcrop or a little nook back in there. It's got some writing on it, and they call it Billy the Kid's Hideout. Oh, yeah, we seen the video on the internet. I said, I'm the one who made that video. But she wasn't going to tell me they were going to that place. They were just going to, they wanted to kind of, I guess, keep it secret or something.
Yeah.
So you're saying you caused that shit, huh?
I guess so. It was my fault to begin with.
Yeah.
He thumped himself in the chest for that one. You got to be open-minded. Wayne Bisbee's right. I mean, if you want to be a good houndsman, and I listen to everybody, kids, old people, I don't care. If you got a better way to do it, I'll try it. And if I don't like it, I'll go back to my old ways.
And it takes miles and miles and lots of time and having those dogs on the ground before, as Cody put it, before you learn how to talk dog, before you learn how to read those dogs, before you understand what's going on. I mean, it takes a long time.
I tell you one thing that I'm fixing to do is I've been looking for some bobcat hunters in Oregon. They rig a lot out there. And I want to start doing a lot. And I have a dog that rigs somewhat good, but she's not that good. But I'm fixing to attempt to buy a good bobcat rig dog, so that cool. I just want to use it to train my dogs with. That's the only thing. I just want to use it to train my dogs to do it. So I don't know. I had to find one.
I had a lion rig dog. I didn't know. I thought she was just babbling in the box. I told y'all that story, and then she rigged, and then the guy that was with me, he said, man, she's barking at something. She's smelling something. Went down there and she rigged a lion scrape.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to trust your dogs. I've been told that before. Trust your dogs. I've told people that.
And she died, and I'll show you something. I took her to the vet. She was an old dog, and she got sick on me, got real sick, and I took her to the vet. And this is what they took out of her. Look at this. Look at that calcium ball right there. Oh. That was in her urinary tract. Look at the size of that thing.
Have you seen the horses that have those too?
She had it in her. And vet cut it out of her, and she was all right. And then she got bit in the leg by a rattlesnake. And
Cody's getting something.
She lived for a week after that, and she died after the rattlesnake bite. She's a good dog, though.
Crazy.
I think Benny hunted with her, didn't you? We're around Sissy a little bit.
Yeah, I hunted with Sissy.
She's a good dog.
You know what? Everybody, is there anybody on this program that had been successful at any level that wasn't mentored to some extent by someone else? I surrounded myself. The last time I did this, I surrounded myself with a group of people that I could call, whether it was late at night when I got in from hunting or in the middle of the day if I had phone service, and I could put the scenario before them, and they would tell me what I was looking at to the best of their ability and what I need to do to correct things or what to expect, or maybe sometimes it was just a pat on the back and keep on going. But is there anybody here that hasn't been mentored to be successful?
I never got to hunt with good guys enough to shorten up that learning curve. I mean, my learning curve has been, like my YouTube channel. It's just taken me forever to learn how to do it right. And I'm not even saying I know how to do it right, but I got to hunt with Orville Fletcher a few times. I hunted with Keith Wilkerson. I hunted with Junior Williams, but never like Cody talks about going and hunting with Ruben all the time. I never got to hunt with these guys a lot, and just enough. But man, I would be on the phone too. I would call them and tell them. I called Terrell Shelley. I called Steve Smith. I called everybody. I talked to you, Benny, all the time. I talked to everybody I could and try to tell them stuff. But a lot of the guys, like even Terrell really didn't have I always say, somebody asks me a question sometimes. I say, well, I don't have the words to describe it. I don't know how to say it. And Terrell was kind of like that. He didn't really know how to tell. It's hard to convey with words a lot of things that you have to just learn by being out there.
Trying to interpret what's in your brain.
Exactly.
Explain to somebody
just like
how
we said
you
about
see it.
Like Clump telling me those dogs are lollygagging. Well, yeah, they were lollygagging. It's.
But what's that mean if you don't see them lollygagging?
I know, and I've always said the same thing. I've told people this because I've done it enough times now that it's like that rattlesnake rattle. You can hear a lot of things that sound like a rattlesnake when you're out there because there's rattlesnakes out there. And you'll hear those little bugs make that noise, and then you'll hit some kind of brush that rattles and this and that, and you'll say, oh, you'll think that's a rattlesnake. But then but when you hear that rattlesnake, it's a rattlesnake.
Oh.
And it's like those dogs barking on a track. Yeah, I get trash, and and I want to make it a lion track, and I want them to be trailing a lion and everything. But man, when they hit it and they're working that, and it's just different. It. I mean, you usually know it. Now, going forwards or backwards is a hard thing. I haven't been able to figure that out.
I had someone tell me you can make a lion track out of a dog track, but you can't make a dog track out of a lion track.
No, exactly.
That's a fact.
That's exactly. And I've looked at those. That's what Orville Fletcher told me. We were up there. We were hunting. We got to hunt on Ted Turner's ranch on the Ladder Ranch, and Orville had permission to hunt on that. And Orville, of course, Orville was unbelievable lion hunter. He was like in the same caliber with Larry Hendricks and Steve Smith and all those guys, except Orville was kind of hard to get along with. And Orville, we were driving up through there. Orville couldn't drive. He was too old. He couldn't drive on the highways, but he could drive on the dirt roads. So he had a driver drive him out there to the ranch, and then he would drive. And we're riding around through there and driving down the roads, and he just looks up ahead. He said, jump out there and see if that's a lion track. I jumped out there, man. I just, like I did with Benny, I got down on the ground. I was on my hands and knees looking at it and just studying it. And he said, is it a lion track? I said, well, either it is or it isn't. He said, I said, okay, it's not.
Can you hunt at night, Cody, in Africa?
I don't know. I mean, yes, you can. You can. I mean, that's how. So most leopards in Africa are hunted over bait at night. But this particular region of Mozambique that we're going, you don't see many leopards killed in this area because for some reason, the leopards in that area will not hit a bait. So, where everywhere else they kill cows and goats and hang them up, they won't hit a bait in this area.
Is it because they have enough natural game that they can just get on their own, you think?
Or they educated?
I don't think anybody really knows for sure, Brett. I mean, I would, my first thought would be, well, there must not be any lions or hyenas there. Maybe the other big predators aren't there. But I don't know. I don't know. I'll tell you in a couple weeks.
If you had the opportunity and it was easy to do, would you take your own dogs to hunt a leopard?
Yes.
You would.
I knew he was going to say yes. That wasn't even a question you had to ask.
Are those leopards, are they hard on dogs?
I mean, they can be, but I don't think they're as bad as the jaguar. I think
they're mean they're hard on people though, aren't they?
Yeah, they can be. They're considered dangerous game, I guess. But I mean, to be completely honest with you, if I hadn't already paid for the trip, I wouldn't even go anymore. I mean,
you already killed one, right?
No, we caught 2 last year, but I didn't kill one.
Yeah.
But I caught a jaguar this year bigger than any leopard I'm going to kill in Mozambique.
Oh, leopards
And
are.
I did that with my own dogs. So I wouldn't. I
You
wouldn't
did what
want.
now? Hold on, I missed that. I was reading. What'd you say? Sorry.
I said if I had not paid for that trip before I went jaguar hunting,
Oh, jaguar. Okay, yeah.
yeah, and because I have now caught a jaguar bigger than any leopard that I'm going to catch, and I did that with my own dogs, I wouldn't even go. But it was all set up, so
So you've caught one of the biggest spotted cats there are.
yeah, yeah.
Cool.
Well, and in fact, the biggest spotted cat. Jaguars are the biggest spotted cat there is. Lions and tigers are the only 2 cats bigger than a jaguar. Now, the one that we treed, and it wasn't a big giant one, but it was a nice tom.
Big jaguar.
It was a nice tom.
I'd like
Obviously, I didn't get to shoot it, obviously, but I
like
caught
to
it.
I'd like to
Could
catch a
have.
jaguar in the United States.
Yeah, that would be
Oh,
pretty cool.
man, I wanted to when I was down there.
That'd
I
be a
wasn't
feather
far
in your
from where
hat.
they got it on camera.
Here,
But I
Cody,
tell you, yeah,
this is imported from Africa. You should have had one.
that's what I need.
Hmm.
But I tell you one thing: those jaguars they're nothing. That's a different ball game.
I'll
Because
guarantee
they'll
you
eat
they're
your
mean,
lunch.
vicious.
They eat your dogs, eat your lunch. I mean, it's it's a completely different category
So
than a lion.
so you got a lot of respect for those old guys like Dale Lee and all them that caught those jaguars. And
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that was
where'd Benny
that
go?
was.
Cody
Uh,
just
got a
got
phone
huge.
I don't know what happened.
Benny left.
You made him
Made
mad,
you the
Cody.
star.
Yeah. Only difference. In my Jaguar experience versus Dale Lee's Jaguar's experience is I'm sure Dale Lee had a gun. I did not.
You were
Yeah. You start walking into a big old cat bait on the ground without a gun, you start second guessing your life's decisions there for a little bit.
I was like that bear I caught with me and J.R. Williams caught that big old bear on the ground there, and he was in some oak brush. I got excited. I mean, I got real excited. Those dogs were in there fighting that bear, and I went running in there with my mule. Just me and old Jet Johnson, I was running in there, and we got in there, and that quarter Airedale I had, HB, she just came rolling by me. Big old, that bear swatted her, and I mean, he was 10 foot in front of me. He swatted her, and he looked at me, and I can't. Man, me and old Jet Johnson, we turned around. We went running back out of there.
Fast as you came in.
I would assume that a leopard and a jaguar are, I think, I think they're basically the same cat,
Comparable.
and it just one of them spent the last forever in Africa, and one of them spent the last forever in South America.
I just seen
But-
those videos online of those jaguars, a leopard climbing in a Jeep or one of those things, Land Rover, through the window trying to eat those guys.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But a lot of those guys with dogs over there in that area where that video was taken, they put them native trackers on them. And when the native tracker says the leopard is now moving because of us, they'll turn the dogs loose, and so it's a pretty hot trail a lot of the time.
So the natives are the one, they're like your strike dogs there. I mean, they're your cold trailers and everything.
In some areas where where the landscape allows, and then in other areas, I think those guys would be better off to ditch all their hounds and get cur dogs. I mean, they pull up to goat hanging in a tree, and the reason the leopard isn't still sitting there eating the goat is because you just pulled up and scared him off, And I don't, I think you could do without, and they don't want to. They don't want to cold trail 3 miles up into the nasty mountains because most of their clients can't get up there anyways.
So they want a dog. It'd be
the
better to
leopard
have
ate the goat.
Go ahead.
And it happens within a couple hundred yards. You
So
know,
it'd be better to have a dog that kind of runs with his head up and goes to him. Yeah.
that's what I would do if I was hunting them the way that I was last year with Gavin. That's what I would. That's what I would do. I would use. I wouldn't use a hound.
Here you go, Cody. Tell us a story about when you first took your cat dogs your bobcat dogs that have been on hundreds and hundreds of bobcats, and you took them to catch your first lion. Tell us that story.
Yeah, Matthew B's fixing to not like me as much.
That's why I brought it up right there. That comment is why I brought it up.
Brett don't want to be the bad guy no more. Your turn.
Well, I don't have that experience like Cody did. Mine run everything.
So with these dogs, there is no doubt that a cat is not just a cat. You know, people say a cat's a cat. If they'll run a bobcat, they'll run a lion, and that's simply not true. The first lion that I caught with this pack of dogs, I spent a lot of time lion hunting, and I could not catch one. And I was roding the dogs down the road, and them dogs all bucked up and turn around and come back to the truck exactly like they do when there's a rattlesnake in the road. And I told that Mexican boy with me, I said, man, there's a cascavelli up there, you know. And I got out of the truck and I walked up there to kill that rattlesnake, and that lion was standing there looking at me. He took off, and them dogs wouldn't run it. It wasn't a bobcat. But I'll tell you an even funny story. I used to hunt in a lot of semi-urban areas, and when I could hunt all night and not start nothing, and then I would see house cats, and I would try to get my dogs to run those house cats, and they wouldn't run them. And after I started catching lions with these dogs, and I had to, start going with a lion hunter, and we caught 5 or 6 lions together and jumped them out. And then my dogs started running lions. And when my dogs started running lions, my dogs started catching those house cats on those drain ditches outside of town. And so they would not run a house cat, and they would not run a lion. But once I started running lions, they would then tree a house cat if they saw one.
Because of that long tail.
Yeah. And, I didn't necessarily want to catch the house cats, but if you've been hunting all night long and ain't had a bark, and then you see a little orange tabby walk across the middle of a cornfield, you're like, man, let's have a little race anyway.
That's the way I feel about foxes.
Yeah, and they put him up a tree, and I'd grab the dogs and throw them in the truck, leave the cat where I found him, and it'd be over with. But they wouldn't run it. They wouldn't run it. But after they started catching lions, they would run it then. And just so you know, Matthew, Reuben Lossman, who is one of the best hunters in my mind, bobcat hunters. Now he was not a lion guy. He only caught a handful of lions. But Reuben Lossman said the exact same thing. Till the day he died, Reuben Lossman would tell people, "Cat's a cat, cat's a cat, cat's a cat." And Reuben was wrong. And so I would tell it to Reuben if Reuben was still here. I wish he was.
Your house cat and bring him in.
Whoop, where'd Benny go again? Benny keeps disappearing
on
us.
Man.
Well, that's interesting. There's been lots and lots of lion hounds trained on house cats.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Now, you also have to understand that we're talking about dogs that catch 100 bobcats a year. They'd never seen a lion. They'd never seen a house cat, but they caught 100 bobcats a year for several years. And so they were pretty tuned in to those bobcats. But they damn sure wouldn't run a lion, so.
Yeah.
And I know, I think Biggerstaff and them guys, their dogs won't run a bobcat, they say. Derringer. They say them Derringer dogs won't run a bobcat. They break them off bobcat.
Yep. I guess we can share that information about the one of the high selling lion dogs was the guy. The reason one of the guys sold him is because he started on coons. So he's a good dog, but they wanted all their dogs running nothing but lions.
So do you guys think that comment about cat's a cat, it's just People really believe that, I guess, huh? Because my experience has been in bare ground. Just because we could produce lions doesn't mean we could even come close to catching a bobcat.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. You know, the scent's just so much less on a bobcat.
I
A
Yeah.
bobcat in dry country where y'all live, uh, a bobcat's hard to catch. If there's not thick underbrush for that cat to rub against, and
Whoop! Now we lost
Nope.
Cody. I know I've caught a handful of bobcats, and I caught one bobcat up at camp that we trailed. I mean, we trailed him. I thought it was a lion, and then I was on foot. I wasn't on my mule, and then the dogs treed down in a canyon, and I went down there and they had a bobcat treed. Now I assumed it was the same track we'd started, but I shot that bobcat, and that bobcat had killed a skunk, and he smelled like skunk now. So really, I think my dogs were trailing skunk.
Whatever it
Brett,
takes.
I don't
is
care.
it possible to rig a line in your area?
I don't know about rig and line. You know, I've never hunted that way, but I think it can be done. Like I said, my sissy dog rigged that lion scrape, and I know that. But well, Benny will remember back in the good old big game houndsman days. Old Ike. They gave him hell. I mean, Benny was the first, and Benny gave him hell, but it was just because he was so cocky, really. And
He was full of He was just full of shit.
He said his dogs would only treat toms too. They didn't mess with females, and he had a lot of.
He called them bitch lions.
Yeah, and he rigged now. Tom White told me that they rigged some lions. Of course, he rigged bears too. You know, Tom ran bears and he rigged them. And so I imagine if they got a hot enough lion track in a good area, they would rig it. Now, where we rigged that lion scrape, we were way up high in the top of the mountains. I mean, we were in good country, but now after that, I started looking back and started thinking about all the times, I had dogs blow up in the box, and I say blow up, I'd start barking, and you could tell they were smelling something, and I just blamed it on them being a little trashy, but then I think back, man, how many times maybe they were rigging a lion or something, but
it's all about scent and conditions and proximity to the game too. Tom White told me that same story, but he wouldn't tell it on Big Game Houndsman because everybody was all up in arms over Dennis's attitude. But Tom said that lion was 200 yards laying over there, and it had scratched right there beside the road, and then laid up right there. And I've never said it's not possible. I always wanted to know. I want to learn more. I want to know what were the conditions, what was taking place, what was, and all I ever got out of that pinhead Dennis was, and there was another guy in Utah. He went by hounding him. I don't remember what his name was, but me and him and Dennis despised us. Oh my gosh, he despised us.
Benny, you need to answer this question. Matthew is
Sonny's.
Sonny.
Twice
Sonny.
he's asked
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, sorry, Sonny. We're chasing a rabbit hole here, but he wants to know about your welding. From one welder to another. That's interesting. We can't wait to the end of the show to still want to know how Benny made his welder.
Pipe weld. He was talking about pipe weld earlier.
Benny just used jet weld. That's all he did.
Yeah. If you burn a jet rod for every circumstance, you're the magician of the crew. Just like all the rest of them. I ran 5P plus, and when you run your root pass, you run it in fast and hot. You come back and you clean it up so you don't leave any wagon tracks. You make one more pass, your hot pass, so that you burn the hell out of everything. You clean it up, you grind it out, you make sure there's no wagon tracks. And from that point forward, everything was 70-18, 100% running uphill.
I worked with a lot of welders. I never was really fond of welders.
Oh no, they're worse than hound dogs.
First place, we had to pay them so dang much money.
If you can't weld, don't be crying about welder wages.
Oh, my daughter's certified welder, and every time I do something, she comes and looks at it. She won't say nothing. She'll look at that weld, and she'll look at me, and I'll say, I never said I was a welder. I just said I can weld.
They get stick
Penetration,
together.
as long as they don't fall apart. There was a question up top too about for Cody about breaking your dogs off rattlesnakes.
What's the question?
Let me look. I think
Hey,
he's kind of.
speaking of that, Cody, Bosco is broke off rattlesnakes now, I think.
I was just fixing to say, that's one of them things that kind of happens on their own. They
Yeah.
break themselves off rattlesnakes.
He got a little electricity for this one because I
Do you
hollered
mind
at
telling
him.
us how you break their curiosity of rattlesnakes?
Electricity.
Yeah. So
you know,
we have enough snakes here that by the time a dog's a year old, they've been bit, and after they've been bit, they don't mess with them no more. So I have shocked dogs while they were baying a rattlesnake or something, but we just have so many snakes. The dogs encounter them on their own, running through the brush, and they learn the hard way.
And
Snakes
they hear them,
javelinas.
and they hear them, and they smell them, and they jump like a kangaroo rat when they run into one.
Yeah. I tie mine to a fishing pole, cast them out there, and I get my dogs to chase them. And once they touch their nose to them, bzz, bzz.
I've seen those guys. There's bird dog trainers that would catch them, and you put them in a refrigerator or something and let them get cold, and then they defang them, and then they let them thaw out. And I've seen that. I'm like Cody. My dogs all got bit. Most of them all been bit, and you just doctor them, and then next time they don't really want to mess with them too bad.
Yeah. Well, guys, I hate to leave good company, but I got some packing to do, and I'm going to hit the hay. So I appreciate everything. We'll see y'all in a few weeks, but we'll check in.
Okay.
Chris and Brett, when y'all sort out what time let me get over there and get with Scott and get everything set up, and then we can kind of figure out. I'd love for Benny and Chris and you, Brett, to maybe hop on every couple days and have a little check-in with us, see how things are going.
It's all recorded.
Thanks for hopping in.
All recorded.
Yeah, we got a photographer going to be there with the good cameras and stuff, so there'll be some good video and good pictures. And he said he would be willing to put them together, and then we could play them with y'all in the evenings. So,
yeah, you can send them to me, and I can run them on the deal here. Yeah, I think would be the way to do it.
Yeah, and if any of y'all hear of a really good, solid broke rig dog for more, I don't care where he's at, but I think Oregon's about the only place.
I got one for sale, cheap.
Somebody said a name up here.
Somebody gave 2 names. If you can find that, Chris, there were 2 names on that comment.
It was from Tim Brink. Tim, you said a name, I think, didn't you, Tim? It was Tim Brink. Bobcat dog, Tim Brink. I know you're there.
Where are you located at, Tim Brink?
Well, he's in Idaho, but he hunts Oregon, I believe, or knows people.
Multi-purpose dogs.
I wouldn't mind if they rigged bear because we don't have no bear. And but yeah, I would want one that's broke to cats, But
do you think
if anybody
you have
knows
enough?
anybody that might have one, just message me.
Do you think you have conditions good enough to rid Bobcats down there, Cody?
Oh yes. I've seen dogs that can rig. So Derek Edwards got some dogs from Oregon. Those dogs taught his dogs how to rig, and one of those dogs is he'll rig.
Art Ragsdale or Hubert Dotson.
Oh man, I don't. Can someone screenshot that or something? Because messages don't come up if I'm in the screen.
I'll take a picture of it and I'll send it to you.
I appreciate it. I had to plug my phone in. That's why I'm sitting here all goofy. But my phone died a while ago. So,
what hunter is it?
So, have any of y'all tried the new TT25 collars?
That's all I have now. I haven't really got. They haven't given me no problems, but I haven't used them 100% a lot.
I ordered mine with the extended batteries, and they last like 130 hours, man. It's
well, they call it what, the dynamic tracking, where they
mode.
shut down.
I don't like that when I'm using my tower control, as Brett calls it.
Cody and he can read those. He talks dog right through that screen.
Yeah.
Well, it's only if they stop for a certain amount of time, I believe. So if they're just laying there,
but during a bobcat race, it won't always kick up to 2.5 seconds.
Hmm.
And so what it does is it makes you think your dogs are somewhere. You'll be looking at it going, why is Tina way back there? This ain't right. These trashing bastards. And then you realize, oh, it's because her collar's not updated. She's there.
I think you could turn that off. You could turn it off.
What do you run?
I just set it on 2.5 seconds, and it still lasts like 4 days.
What do you run yours on, Chris? What update rate?
5 seconds. I usually go 5 seconds. It might be on 2.5 seconds. I haven't really played with it a whole lot. I just run them.
Out here, I run mine on 5 seconds. When I'm up in the big country, I run it on 2 minutes.
Yeah. No, and 2 minutes is 2 minutes is plenty. No, I mean, Ruben used to get mad at me for staring at that screen all the time, but I have learned a lot with that screen, and but
it's as big as that wall right there. I don't know what it is, but it's huge.
His windshield.
Yeah, but I'm listening at the same time, and so I mainly use it if I'm moving or stuff like that. But I like to get out and listen. Brett, tell Cody Art would probably come down to Texas and hunt with him. He hunts South
Texas a lot.
And he's one of the guys. He's one of the guys that has a dog for you, or possibly.
Cool. Yeah, Tim. Thanks for setting that up and throwing that name out there, man. I appreciate it. And 40 years old and a pack of dogs and wanting to buy a dog.
Just one more dog.
If I just had one more, man.
But Cody, I think the most important thing is you're trying to expand your knowledge and understanding and learning another side of this deal.
Trying new things, yeah.
And I tell you a lot of that, Benny. 10 years ago, if you'd have told me you were going to start rigging bobcats, I'd say, hell, you're only going to rig the hot ones. You're going to miss all of them. It's better to have your dogs on the ground. Hell, Derek's dog will start more cats in the truck than my dogs will on the ground. He'll start them just as cold out of that truck as my dogs will start them on the ground.
Wow.
And I would have told you, it's too hot and dry down here. That ain't going to happen. They can't do it. It's a bobcat. Maybe if you wanted to hog hunt or bear hunt or something like that. And I was completely wrong. 100% wrong. So
yeah, you're not a full. He's not a full-blooded houndsman at all.
No,
he's wrong.
I've been wrong about a lot in my life, but but if you don't admit you're wrong, you'll never get any better.
I was going to say being wrong and admitting you're wrong is that's what's hard.
Yep.
Yeah, but that's how you grow. That's how you learn.
Yeah, that's like that. Exactly. Got that story about the lady who her grandmother cooked the roast and always put the roast in and cut the ends of it off. But she cut the ends of the roast off. So the mother, all the time, she cut the ends of the roast off too. So then the grandchild went to cut the ends of the roast off, and her friend was over there and said, why do you cut the ends of the roast off? She said, well, that's what my mom did. So she went and asked her mom, said, why'd you cut the end of the roast off? Yeah. She said, well, because that's what my grandmother did. Your grandmother did. So she went and asked her grandma, why'd you cut the ends of the roast off? She said, because my pan wasn't big enough.
Yeah.
But things are passed down like that say this is the only way you can do it, or you watch somebody do it a certain way and you're not open to other ideas.
Yeah. No, that's just like saying just because.
So real quick, out of curiosity, 3 opinions right now, yes or no, will the lion hunting ban in Colorado pass? Yes or no?
Ooh.
I sent them $100 the other day. I think the lion hunting ban is going to pass. I think as long
it's a good possibility.
This is what we talked about, Cody. I think as long as you're in areas where the big cities can vote on it, and you have all those people who have no idea what the real world is like, and they can make the rules for us, I think we're in trouble.
Benny?
I'm afraid it's going to.
I think
I don't know nothing
everybody's
about it,
afraid
but
it's
that
going to.
breaks my heart.
I mean, they got the money. They got 188,000 signatures, and probably 140 of those thousand signatures don't know, absolutely don't know what they even signed. I
I
hope it
have
don't
not.
pass, but
Yes, I agree.
man,
I will say this: how come there's not, and maybe there is, and I'm just not seeing it. But how come there isn't Facebook posts all over the place? Click on this button to donate to save money, because I have not seen a single link, a single post.
Hold on.
Who's organizing it? Do y'all know who's organizing this stuff?
see it. If you go to the hunt for color, savethehuntcolorado.com or sportsmanalliance.org. Last Wednesday, I had Naomi Hirsch on my show. It will probably. I'm gonna send that to W probably in the morning. Hopefully, they'll play it Thursday on a podcast. But if you go to my live last Wednesday, she goes over it quite a bit. But
Right there.
that's what we were talking about, is saving.
And you can donate. Can you guys see my screen?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's real.
But I can't read nothing.
I wonder why.
It's just tiny
Right.
print.
It says Save the Hunt or Colorado. It's for responsible wildlife management. Proposition has required.
You're on the wrong screen. It's not showing that. You got the hound rendezvous
No.
up.
There?
No, there's a
Dan Gates is kind of spearheading that. And I actually texted him to see if he could come on whenever he gets time. But they're like in overdrive right now trying to. And she said it on my show, share, share, share. So maybe I'm not sharing enough either. We talk about it, but
I mean, I gladly send some money to somebody, but I honestly haven't seen anything.
SaveTheHuntColorado.com.
Yeah, it's really I did it. It's real easy. You can go to that and it's got a little donate button, Cody, and you just press the donate button and
I'll text it to you.
give them your credit card information. Oh, here, watch. I'm going to screen. Hold on just a minute. This is what I can do.
The liberals have learned how to do this shit.
They had people from Tennessee.
Get it on the ballot.
Brett, Cody, they had people from Tennessee coming to Colorado to get signatures.
Is it true that a judge put a gag order on fishing, Colorado fishing online?
Not necessarily. We did bring that up last Wednesday, but I don't think there's a gag order, but there's kind of a shut the F up maybe. If you go watch my live last Wednesday, Naomi, the first hour, Naomi goes through a lot of that.
Yeah, I'll definitely watch it. What are we gonna do, guys? I mean,
let
me ask you this: how do you think Colorado mountain lion hunting ban? What do you think that would do to the $15,000, $18,000 dog market?
Look at
these high dollar dogs that you get bought all the time. I mean, how many buyers are we going to take out of the market if that gets passed?
Well, did you hear about the CDC
make
thing?
Dogs work more?
Cody, you hear about the CDC?
Oh, I've been dealing. I don't know what you're referring to, but if it's the rabies deal, yeah, importing dogs from Mexico as of August 1st, man, I've been microchipping dogs and jumping through all kinds of to be able to transfer my dogs down. I got a lion study that I got to go help capture some lions to put some GPS collars on in Mexico. And for the first time ever, I mean, it's always been the dogs are a pain in the ass to get into Mexico. I have never once had a Customs or Border Patrol agent ask a single question or look at a single piece of paper coming back with those dogs from Mexico. And now you have to fill out a CDC dog import form. Yep. You have to have your dogs microchipped, all kinds of stuff. I assume that's what you're referring to, but.
Yep. Now Canada too. You can't get them out of Canada for 6 months. So all them beagle breeders that are 6 months, what are you going to do with the dog for 6 months?
Yeah.
Well, you guys can see that now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the website right there.
But what I don't understand is you just pulled up the biggest fighter for saving mountain lion hunting in Colorado, and it's a picture of an elk.
No kidding. Responsible.
Well, it's Coloradans for responsible wildlife management. But you're right.
But you can go also here. Let me see if I can get this.
Sportsalliance.org.
Yeah, Sportsman's. This is Save the Hunt. But I went to Sportsman's Alliance.
All you guys on here, if you guys want to go over to Anecdote of a Houndsman, last Wednesday's live, I have a Californian on there that has some very interesting news about bringing hound hunting back for bears in California. He explains it. I don't try to explain it. And then Naomi Hirsch got on, talked about they're suing the CDC, I believe, for that. They're suing some people for that. And she talks about the Colorado thing as well. And if you got, everybody needs to donate. I don't care if you hunt elk, deer, don't run dogs, because when they're done taking dogs,
there's no stopping. Yeah.
They're going to come
These
after.
people are not going to wake up one day and go, okay, we've accomplished our goals. Let's go home, boys. That's not going to happen. That will never happen. These people live in misery, and they have to have something to fight against. And if we do not slow, it's coming. It's coming everywhere. I don't care where you're at. It's coming. And if everybody sits back and lets this happen in Colorado, and it's like I say, they're not going to say, "Whoo, we got it done in Colorado. Let's go home." They're going to move their organization and their offices to Arizona, or Utah, or Idaho. They've already moved it to Texas.
Oh yeah, Dan Gates said they want $10 million, $5 million to fight Colorado, and $5 million to move to the next state. And all these people, like what's that? Jimmy Johnson paid what, $700,000 for a mule deer tag?
Yeah.
Jeez.
You can't donate 100. All these people going to McDonald's and Starbucks and buying a can of chew. Dan Gates said if every hunter in America, and it's only like 3 to 5% of America hunts, if everybody put in $10, they'd get their money.
Yeah.
And I'm not smart enough to go to the Capitol. I'm not going to go lobby. I'd rather pay somebody that has the literature, has the verbiage, has the grammar, has the intelligence to go talk to people and put those laws through for legislature. It's worth. I think I'm $300-400 deep in them donating. I bought whiskey,
we don't have the science.
I'm $200
we need to be
deep
funding is science.
I'm $200 deep in them, but if I bought whiskey, I'd forget all about the fight.
I'm bringing it to the rendezvous.
But my wife's coming with me too, so there won't be no. I'll have to.
I got a cup for her too.
Yeah, right.
So, yep.
So y'all think it's going to pass?
I'm afraid. Yeah. I just don't. There's just so many more of them than there are of us.
Well, it hurts your feelings to be cynical about it, or pessimistic about it. You know what I mean? But damn,
I just think it's the way it's structured, the way it's.
Well, they're trying to raise $2 million to fight this still, and that's that Carol Baskin off of the Tiger King. So she's kind of famous. So she's rallying. It's called Cats. It's called Cats. Cats aren't trophy, whatever it is, trophy sport or.
Is it a?
And when they did the literature,
do they have a website?
Alan Smith has a coon dog in East Texas whose registered name is Carol Effin Baskin. It's pretty funny when you see his papers and stuff. He's a crazy bastard.
And they're tricky. They're tricky. When they put all this literature forward, it said no trophy hunting, and trophy hunting was considered anything chasing, killing, catching, anything, pursuing. So all hunting was trophy hunting, and they tried to get that through. So.
And a whole bunch of people are going to vote on it that live in a big city and know nothing about it.
That's a fact. And when you show up and say, hey, you need to preserve wildlife, people sign that ticket right there real quick. And when you go to the voter booth in November, because they got enough signatures to make it to, the November elections. So,
yeah,
I mean, when you have a big, beautiful title that says, save our wildlife, help preserve wildlife, or whatever they're going to list it as, people are going to say yes.
The thing about it is, Why is there no hounds people going in California and every single election cycle getting enough signatures to put it back on the ballot?
There are a couple people trying. A couple. Not enough. Never enough.
And
And
it's
this is where
hard
we
and it's easy for me to be pissed off about it, but at the same time, tomorrow morning I want to go hunting. I don't want to deal with that crap. You know,
Yeah.
it's tough.
Yep. Share.
Yeah,
I don't
for
share
sure.
enough. So share.
You send me a link. I'm gonna put it up
I text it to your phone.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it up and post it on Facebook, and hopefully we can. Hopefully, I talked to some people. I may have told you all this lie, but I was talking to some people in California about going out there to collar some lions for them. They have some issues, and I'm always very careful about what I say about collaring programs and stuff like this. But they were talking to me, wanted to collar some lions. I told them, I said, man, that's a long ways away. I'll give you a price. But, man, I know somebody who lives 30 minutes from there. He's got damn good dogs, catches a lot of lions. And their response to me was, we will not allow anyone from in-state to be a part of the program.
I wonder why.
It pissed me off. It pissed me off. You stole these people's hound hunting, and what little bit is left, you won't give it back to them. You're going to pay me to drive from Texas when there's a guy right there that could do it. It's absolutely ridiculous. They don't want the public knowing that they're killing hundreds of lions a year.
Yeah.
They don't want the public knowing that what's going on. It's Y'all got me all riled up. I ain't gonna be able to sleep for a week, man.
It happens. No. It does, man. It gets you angry.
That 20.
Yeah. I don't.
That'll take care of that.
We don't go to the big cities and go walk around telling all those people how to live their lives.
Exactly.
And the least they could do is return the favor. I mean, but where's Biggerstaff's in Colorado, right?
Yeah.
Don't say that
where's
name
Derringer?
around Billy.
Arizona?
Where's who?
Benny's going to get upset.
Where's who, Cody?
Where's Derringer? Sam Derringer.
They're in Arizona.
Biggerstaff's in Colorado.
We need some big players, big money spenders. It's about the money because it costs a lot of money to lobby. And that's what Dan Gates, he's a C4, not a C3 on the nonprofit. So he can use money to lobby.
Has Meat Eater, have they been running some shows on it and stuff? I know Clay Newcomb had Dan Gates on there.
Yeah. I don't, no, Meat Eater had Dan Gates on. Oh, it was Clay Newcomb.
It was
no,
Clay.
I think Meat Eater, they had him on there too just a few weeks ago talking about it.
Where's the SCI in all of this?
We need Joe Rogan. We need Joe Rogan to invite us on this podcast.
Where's
Joe
all
Rogan
of these?
Saw a Black Panther in the backyard last week. So
well, he smokes a lot of pot too, and takes mushrooms and everything else, ayahuasca.
But there's other organizations like the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation, the Lions Kill Elk. What about there's several of these big mule deer organizations,
Bighorn Sheep.
And Bighorn Sheep. That's exactly right. In Arizona and New Mexico, they kill lions all the time just to try to salvage some bighorn sheep. And all of these
sheep have decimated the West Texas lion.
They want to turn their attention away from the houndsmen because those dirty, rotten houndsmen, they can kill lions and bears and tigers without any hounds. And those guys with hounds, they're just a bunch of outlaw pigs anyway.
Yeah. There's a lot of, deer hunters and elk hunters that don't like houndsmen. That's just the way it is.
A lot.
That's fact.
A lot.
But they're going to come after them next.
I used to have them complain when I lived up there in the mountains. The elk hunters and deer hunters would come in there. And, of course, my dogs would bark from time to time. And I had them right there in my cabin, us sitting in there drinking a beer together. And them in my cabin talking about, that guy I own the whole thing, but I kept all my dogs down the creek, and them talking about, that guy down there down the creek with those loud hounds and this and that. And I, of course, I said, hey, listen, buddy, I'm the guy with those hounds, and those hounds belong up here. You don't belong up here. And he left.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It's a sad deal. It's a sad deal.
Well, 10-4, guys. I'm going to go lay down. It was good catching up with y'all. We'll see y'all in Africa next week.
Thanks,
Later
Cody.
Sounds
this
good.
week.
Thanks for
Thank you,
stopping
sir.
in.
We'll
See ya.
see you guys.
Stopping in
Guys.
for 2 hours.
The time
You
has
didn't just jump on.
the time has absolutely flew this time.
Oh, it's 3 hours almost.
It's been a
2.5.
good one. It's been a good one. I enjoyed
Hey,
it.
let me answer Sonny's questions again. I don't want to get in trouble. The argon is mostly used for heliarc welding, and anything with an argon composite like a 75-25 or anything else like that, it mostly goes to wire feed welding. It just presents a cleaner gas and a cleaner weld. Now we're back to hound
Listen.
hunting.
What is this, Monday
And
night welding?
Benny will be sending you a bill.
You know what? You know what? We do this show for free. We don't ask for nothing, but
I do.
what? Well, views, lots of views. So you could go to SaveTheHuntColorado.com and donate $5. All of you. There's 140 people in here right now, and if they all went and donated $10, it's $1,300.
Yep.
That's enough for a lawyer for 2 hours.
Is it?
I don't know. I'm sure it ain't cheap. I know Naomi was saying they're buying commercials.
Not the lawyers that I've had to deal with.
Yeah.
When I had my divorce, my lawyer was expensive.
Your lawyer was the cheap part.
Yeah.
And the
it was
hound
the next
rendezvous.
15 years it cost me.
Any money we get on that hound rendezvous, we're going to send over to those guys.
Yeah, we're going to auction off. I think we're going to have 2 dogs to auction off. And I could even have another one. I don't know. I got a dog that he's got he's got a half brother that brought $17,000.
I might even sell some of my cups.
The
some
tin
of my
ones?
cups. They might have a little bit of liquid in it. I don't have a license to sell liquid, but I might sell my cups.
Full of ledge.
Until I might sell my cups so that bottle's gone. Donation.
Oh, I thought
you get a sip.
And cubs. I thought he was going to sell some bear cubs. Now things are going to get lost.
Those
That's
aren't
right.
old
That's
enough
right
yet.
up Benny's alley.
Those aren't old enough yet. I'm waiting to get a little older before I sell them. Come on, guys. Hit the like button. Put some thumbs up. Share the show. Information. Donate. Go to the Hound Rendezvous.
And I got to say, speaking of money, sponsored by W Hunting Supply.
Yeah.
In a way. Also, Full Cry Magazine, just because I like them. And
Yeah.
who else? Oh, not Old South Dog Boxes. I don't like them.
Are you mad at them again?
The lights on the back of... Yeah, I'm mad at them.
Someone needs to fix those lights because there's something going on with those lights.
We got hot wires to the back. You take it and you got a little, one of those little pokers with the light bulb on it, and you put it to the ground and you put it to the hot wire and the little light comes on in the deal. Then you hook it up to the light on the buggy. It don't come on. Tell me what I'm doing wrong.
You're a little poker. It's a circuit tester.
Oh. No, it tells you where there's a hot wire.
Don't say nothing bad about them until we make sure it's not the lights burn out. Because
the mounts were all wrong, and it took me a year to get the damn thing.
Yeah,
Put me at the end of the line. We put you at the end of the line. Well, why?
Ellis Canvas.
Ellis Canvas tent, good guys. Skiddo saddle pads for your mule, super saddle pad. I always had trouble when I was riding that rough country up there. You cinch up your mule in the morning, then you ride for a couple hours, and you have to cinch him up again. And then pretty soon everything stretches out again, and those saddle pads will start working out the back of your saddle. So then Skiddo saddle pads, it doesn't do that because they have like a coarse top on their saddle pad, and it doesn't slide out. It
sticks to the saddle,
and the pad's up like that, and it's got that valley down the middle for your mule's back. And that pad on them is that thick. It's nice. I like them. Mountain Ridge Gear. I like their stuff.
Flashlight.
Olight. They've got good flashlights, man. They're bright. They're good.
The maps.
Huh? Onyx. Yeah, Onyx. Everybody's got to use Onyx. And use the code.
Everybody but Wayne Bisbee.
100 years. 100 years? Is that the code? What's the code?
It's B 100 years, or is it born 100 years?
I think
Hang
Onyx
on.
is.
Hang on,
Hold
Wayne
on.
Bisbee.
100 years for Onyx. Use that code, you get 20% off, and they give us a little kickback. And then Olight, if you use the code B100YTL, you
YTL.
they give a little kickback there. Look at that.
There you go. There you go, Wayne Bisbee, who don't have Onyx. Who doesn't have Onyx? That's like Outcast. We're gonna shame you for it.
But yeah,
I think that's
coming
it.
from
What
the
else we
guy
got
who did
tonight?
cathodic protection, huh? Who's that? Who's this guy? Oh,
What?
He's talking about you not being able to find your short and your lights.
I know. I spent 3 years finding shorts on pipelines in Las Cruces.
Wayne got me a gift. I'm afraid to know what that is.
You'll get it at the rendezvous.
What? You could liven everybody up if you'd get John to show up over there.
John Klump. We need to talk to him. Chris has kind of been ramrodding this and that, and Casey and his wife. They kind of got out of my control. I mean, I'm not good at stuff like that. So
Hey, we're just showing up.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna.
If you guys are gonna get dinner, go to Pick and Shovel. Pick and Shovel. It's probably gonna end this week.
Yeah.
Which is funny because I have not done it yet, but I think I know who's going and who's not. My boy has a soccer game Saturday morning and a bunch of other stuff. So it might just be me, Cody Lynn, my daughter, and my other son, my 10-year-old. Listen, Sonny, we don't care about your welding no more.
So I think Sonny got on the wrong podcast.
Here's Benny's number. Call him.
It's interview stories and tales, not interview stories and welds.
Oh, that's like that. I was going through Sholo and I called Chris. I said, "Hey, let's meet." You know, we hadn't met, and so we sat down there, and he had his daughter that's a welder, and her and I talked welding the whole time. We didn't talk one thing about a hound dog.
Nope, I just ate.
So, guys, did we make it to our? We've been 2.5 hours.
Yeah, we're 2.5, but we had so much information.
Lots of opinions on this one.
Lots of opinions.
Does anybody got anything else?
No. I hate to leave.
Well,
100 people on here trying to listen.
You want to take some questions? If anybody from the gallery here has a question, ask Benny a question. Ask Benny how many times he was arrested for poaching.
0.
Ask him how many times he was accused of it.
Ask him how many times he got away with it.
I got to be careful.
Oh, he's got serious there. Look at him.
About this,
Yeah.
I'm shutting you.
How
What do you
about
mean?
Steve Smith?
Poaching. Just what is poaching? What is the definition of poaching?
When you
Shooting
put an egg-
protected game out of season.
Oh, I thought we was talking about poached eggs.
Yeah, because I love a good poached egg.
Especially out of season. It always tastes better.
I got to call
Richard?
Steve Smith. Oh, and I got to make an announcement here. I think I'm going to be able to go. I'm working with Steve Smith to get to interview Steve. I want to sit down and interview him. He's the one who set me up to interview. What was his name? Huh?
Richard Dickerson.
Well, they set me up to interview Richard Dickerson, but also Steve
The other
Jim
Bueller.
Bueller.
And then I still am sitting on the Warner Glenn interview. I got that one. I got to edit it and put it all up. Me and Benny went over there, and we got to sit down and talk to Warner Glenn, and then we got to tour his dogs and everything. It was really cool. And
he's taller than me.
He's taller than you.
Yeah.
He's a little taller than me, too.
Everybody in his family is taller than me.
Yeah, Kelly's huge. She's 6'5". She might not be that tall, but she's pretty tall.
She's tall.
And so Rick Dickerson, Steve Smith, and I got the Warner Glenn, and then what's the guy's name from Mexico, Benny?
Oh, Tony Rivera.
Tony Rivera. I got his thesis right here. And then I got Roy McBride's thesis. Have anybody ever seen Roy McBride's thesis?
No, but Roy passed away.
I know. I got his thesis right here. Look at that.
His son Rocky is still alive and hunting, and Rocky's son Cougar is alive and hunting.
But those, I'm going to do those. I've like I said, if you have any contacts with any of these big companies, and put in a good word for me, because I'm trying to at least pay for my gas to go see these guys.
Yep.
So,
or join your Patreon.
You can join the Patreon and everything. I mean, that's cool. And I like the guys who watch my videos. I really appreciate them, supporting me through that. I mean, honestly, with these interviews, I just think that the companies that we spend money with should help out a little bit. But then, why would they give me money when we're fighting for our rights to hunt lions anyway? They could send it to the Sportsman's Alliance. So. Yeah. So it's, that's probably a more worthy cause than me going and doing my interviews, I'm afraid.
I hope that, I hope for some reason that don't go through, but man, if they can fight it and beat it, it's nice, because then it's going to show that, what's that?
As a state, the population is just too liberal.
Well, she said they didn't have to collect them from the state, only from one city, Denver.
Yeah, Denver. What's the population of Colorado? And how much of that is centered in Denver? And how much of that is centered on asphalt and concrete and big buildings and subdivisions and all that stuff?
People who don't even leave the city.
No. Sonny has just not given up that welding stuff.
Yeah.
You reckon that's his name, real name, Passmore? Don't you? Isn't that what you do? Is let me make one more pass.
Yeah. That's a good one. You have an online store. Brett does have an online store.
I do. I don't ever say anything about it.
Born 100 years too late.
I got a spread shop.
Just go to his channel. It's on there.
All the gas. He knows I drive a diesel truck. He said, I'll pay for all the gas you can burn in your truck. It's diesel.
I guess that means airplane flights are out of the question.
See, they wanted this. I had guys contact me about going and talking to some old hunter way up in Canada. They said, man, you should go talk to them. I had several people tell me I need to go up there and talk to this guy. But dadgum.
$1,000 just to get there and back, not including food, hotel, and all that good stuff.
I know. That'd be something. I mean, if it was worth it to the big companies to sponsor it and make it happen. But I mean, I don't know what the value. I mean, you put one of those out. I think the Mike Root interview, which I think it's probably got 40 or 50,000 views. So you got 40, 50,000 people who looked at it and watched it. That's a lot of eyeballs. And you say that the going rate for a sponsorship like that is probably, because it's such a focused audience, it's probably worth $40 per thousand. So 30 times 40 is what? $1,200.
Well, and what about the Mike Leonard interview? That was a good hit too.
30-something thousand too. Yeah, and I'm sure there's going to be, but that's just the way it goes. I mean, it's the same thing with people. There's not a whole lot of us, and most of us, we're all in the same boat. Man, we get some extra money, we're going to go hunting somewhere, buy another dog.
Well, that's where they get us. That's where they get us. It's happening right now, right? What are we doing right now? Bear season just opened. I'm curious about where you all are at and what kind of effect development and now people moving in is having, on your hunting. So I'm in Arizona. I lived in Maricopa. Maricopa was a 2-lane highway with nothing. You hit horses, reservation horses every week. Now, 14 miles takes you 2 hours. They built 80,000 homes and we got apartments. We had a Circle K. All the fields I used to hunt in are all houses, Circle K's, Walmarts. We got 4 Circle K's now in this town. We got Walmart, Bash's, Fry's, apartments like you wouldn't believe. This destroyed. It started happening in 2005, and I moved to Sholo then, but it's the same thing. People just pile in, and a lot of these people that moved to Maricopa, Arizona, was like the second relocation for Hurricane Katrina. And a lot of those people that come over here don't exactly vote red. And that's the problem. You have a bunch of pansies that sit in there and they watch these videos and these little heartwarming kittens getting killed by something, or you dummies on social media who think that the First Amendment, freedom of speech is just lets you do whatever you want. So when you're posting dumb shit like killing bears and lions and your dog's chewing on something, it just hurts you because those people, Naomi Hirsch said on Wednesday, there's 50 people that watch or that click on her website from Los Angeles. She said probably 41 of them are probably anti-hunters. So those anti-hunters sit around while you're watching porn and all your dumb shit, and they take all those pictures. I've seen them. I've infiltrated those. I went to their meetings. I've watched what they said. It's utterly 100% lies and bullshit, period. And I couldn't say nothing. I just had to sit there and just watch what they said. And they post these pictures off of your guys' First Amendment right, freedom of speech. I'm going to post whatever I want. And that's what happens. And that's how they get that. And they get people in there that are non-hunters that become anti-hunters because of these stupid pictures, period.
Yes, sir.
That's all I have to say.
You got to be careful. You got to be careful.
So,
there's no doubt about it.
So those are brainwashed idiots right there that think that I can post whatever I want and it's not going to hurt me. You're right. It's hurting the other states. It's hurting this state until it gets to your state. And then it's going to hurt you.
Preach it, Chris. Preach it.
Yeah, I'm a preach. I preach. I don't just talk. I preach. But keep posting those pictures. Keep telling everybody how many bears you killed or how many lions you killed and how many coyotes you killed. Post those pictures of that bear on that rock that's bloody and you can't even take a good picture. I was guilty of it. You don't realize it until you start thinking about it and you start looking and you see until you go to a meeting and they post those pictures when you see your picture up there.
See, I've had ranchers, I've had comments from ranchers and stuff because on my videos I just show the lion caught, the bear caught, whatever, and I've never shown one bear that we packed out. I didn't show it. I just showed us packing it out on a mule. And then I think I showed one lion but I never showed another one after, because that, to me, that's too anticlimactic. I mean, it's not, the hunt is going from where you start the track or how you find the track to the tree, and then that's over. It's that to me, that's over. What you do after that is should be private. It should be, and I've had ranchers get mad at me and say, well, you're just treating those lions and let them go. I said, no, that's not true. You don't always know what I do. And that was something I learned from Orville Fletcher. Orville Fletcher said, he said, that's why you hunt by yourself, because nobody knows what you do.
Absolutely right. If you want to see pictures, go to their house and look at their photo album.
Ta-da!
There you go. private person there. But anyway.
Yep.
Fellers, it's been good. You bunch of brainwashed idiots.
Brainwashed idiots. We're all brainwashed.
We are. I mean, I am.
Yeah, we're gonna
work.
Yeah.
Do your
share
thing. What's wrong with your phone?
Working.
There it is.
There we go.
Hey, Vinny.
And that means the show is over.
Guys, thank you.
See?
We had a good crowd tonight. Lots of thumbs up, 50 of them. I enjoyed it. That was good. Chris?
Save the Hunt, Colorado. Save the Hunt, Colorado.
Thanks like always. Benny, it's not the same when you're not here. I promise you that. So you better make sure you always show up.
Mm-hmm.
One of these days, I'm not going to be here ever again.
No, well, none of us. One of these days, none of us are going to be here.
Yeah.
That's something we all got to look forward to, I guess.
Man.
Maybe if we go to we're planning at the rendezvous, we're going to have our Starlink, and I'll rig up my laptop and everything, and maybe we'll just go live for the whole thing.
Just turn it on.
Just turn it on, set up cameras, and say,
pass
here
out
you go.
cups.
Yeah. And Chris is going to be selling his homemade cups.
Yeah.
To support Sportsman's Alliance.
All going to Sportsman. Got dogs, cups, whatever else. Anybody wants to bring something? I don't know. Maybe we'll make him some money.
What is this? Hold on. Here we got
$100 is a tank of gas for Dan Gates to go to the next meeting.
Oh, is there any way? Yeah, that's a good idea. We'll see what we can do on our next Monday Night Live. Maybe we can figure out some kind of fundraiser that we can do right here on our show.
Well, they can super chat, right or wrong?
Yeah, this channel is monetized. So if you guys give a super chat, is that what it's called? Super chat?
Yeah, I think it's super chat. Yeah.
Super chat. 100% of that will be sent to the Sportsman's Alliance. So Maybe not this time, but next time, get your credit
Call
cards
it
out.
We'll call it Super Chat Monday.
Yeah, Super Chat Monday, and see if we can raise some money for the Sportsman's Alliance.
I could probably get. I've been trying to get Dan Gates. He's kind of busy, but I could probably get Naomi on in the beginning.
Okay.
She'll probably jump on.
She's fun. She's fun. She's real knowledgeable, and she's good.
And it's a lot prettier than us.
A hell of a lot prettier than Chris. I don't know if she's prettier than Benny though. Look at that.
Hey, you haven't seen me without my beard.
All right, guys.
All
we'll
right.
see you later.
See.
Onward and upward.